Good afternoon, all of you amazing people. A pretty good day out there today, but a lot of crazy stuff happening. I'm going to break down every single trade that I took today, one by one, just like this trade here on JDZG. How I did it step by step so that you can do it too going into tomorrow, so I can teach you how to fish, not just how to chase some gurus alerts. So let's go ahead and dive right into it and see how we did. Today was a pretty good day. The only downside was a lot was moving and a little bit too much moving, to be honest with you. Now, yesterday, we had some obvious opportunities. We had ELBM. We had a couple of others like STI, and stuff looked pretty good yesterday. But I've traded 7 stocks today, man. I traded JDZG, ELAB, SPLX, UGRO, GWAV, SSKN, and AQMS. And there just really wasn't an obvious opportunity. Now, coming in the market open, we had quite a few of our leading gappers up nice, and GWAV and a couple of others. And I had my pre-market list ready to go, and I'll show you right here. That pre-market list consisted of 4 stocks: GWAV, SSKN, GWH, and SPLX. Now, I did play most of those today, but really a lot of them were small moves. We didn't really have any big picture moves on them. And now we came into the open today. I really wasn't watching JDZG, but it looked pretty good out of the gate. And we saw this and I spotted a good opportunity on it. So we had, of course, this lower high into market open. And so obviously wasn't playing it through here. But as you get out of market open, again, this gets breaking to the upside. Again, we put in place this bottom and we begin to curl above the moving averages here. And so we begin to break trend to the upside in a big way with some nice buyers out of market open. So, all right, cool. And the thing is that I really liked here is we had room to VWAP, right? We had VWAP right way up here at 330 at the time. So I had plenty of range from like 260 to 330. I was like, all right, this thing looks pretty good. And so we come in the market open here and I play this pretty well. I'm actually really happy with the execution on this. And so this thing begins finding a buyer out of market open. Look at this. Pulls back right before the bell, then pops out of the open, pulls back, makes a big move to the upside, and then pulls back. And I take the pullback here off the bottom of this candle. And it's perfect. And so it pulls back. I risk off the bottom of this candle. Again, I'm in here at 271. Look how tight this is. I'm in here at 271 with a stop loss 265. You can take a good 5,000 shares, and then this thing rocketed to 290, literally 20 cents in a matter of seconds. And so you figure you take 5,000 shares, you're not going to quick 20-cent move. That's a nice way to start the morning. And so yeah, you get up through here, we get up into the highs, and you get a nice little move here. Literally instantly, this thing popped right out of the boom. It was gone. So quick 20-cent instant move there. As it rejected off the high, I took my profit, stepped away from this, but it was a really good move. Really happy with the trade here. Little opening way to break the ice a little bit. Now, going up from that, went on over to, I'll show you here, we had ELAB, and this thing was pretty good as well. But it had a hard time getting going. And so this one also, we can see here back from pre-market, had given back most of its move. And so my typical rule is if a stock gives back more than a half of its move, I'll typically leave it alone. But I traded JDZG and made some good money on it. And so I'm like, all right, let's go play this too. It looks pretty good. We have room to VWAP. That's the big thing, is we have room to VWAP. And so out of market open here, this thing starts to make a bit of a move. And again, we sell off after market open. Then we get breaking over the opening highs in a big way, and it makes a massive move on volume here. So then it pulls back, puts in place a low, curls back up into the high, and puts in place this tightening wedge. Well, as this thing gets tightening up, I'm watching this for a breakout. And so I take it here after it confirms this 1 minute breakout. Quick tight entry, and I get some trims up into the highs, and then I get myself stopped out at entry for the last little bit because it just didn't follow through. So kept it green at least, but just didn't get any follow through. SPLX we had next, and same story here. And again, this is a really good setup that I'm just really small green on because it just didn't give us a good opportunity, or it gave us a good opportunity, but not good resolution. And so we can see here, check this out. So we have the low, drag our swing lows on across, and again, you have, all right, cool. What I was looking for here, you can see exactly what I was looking for here, it's clear as day, was this. See how we have all these wicks off the lows of this channel here. And so I was looking for this to wick. Again, we're seeing buyers come off the bottom of this range. I'm wanting to see this get curling up, squeezing back up into this previous high, up into this past area of supply overhead. And so that looked really good. But I could just tell with how this is moving, it was very choppy, very sideways. You see how I kept buying these, bought this pullback, sold up into strength, and was trying to tack on some profits here. And I did successfully. And then I tried to get the ad for the squeeze, and overall came out here with very small profit because of it. Just couldn't get this thing going. And even back here, I wouldn't have played it here because we're sort of backside. We see this here. We have this lower high, we break to a new high, then we instantly pop back down beneath and form a new low. That's why I didn't take it here. And so as it formed that higher low here, I wanted to play it for the squeeze up back on top of its range. Just didn't get that move. So very small green here as well. This is the issue we had today. You have a lot of mediocre setups. UGRO, I left a lot of money on the table with today, but I want to talk through it because there was a reason for it. And so the 5 minute here was intact with the whole time. The 1 minute time frame here I just didn't like. My top down confluence really wasn't firing on all cylinders here. And so we had the opening range high back here formed off of 52 cents. And so I was watching this for the base off 52. And I got a few trades this way. I got 2 wins on it. I played it once from 52 to about 54, and then I played it again from 52 back to 56. You can see here, I got the breakout higher. But the issue here, and of course I didn't play it through here, I'll tell you why. So we have this thing try to break to the upside on the 1 minute time frame here, and look what happens. We instantly reject back beneath. That's my sign for an instant exit because this is a reversal indicator. And so as this happens, we actually talked through this yesterday. And yesterday, I forget what stock it was. I think it might have been ELBM. I forget what it was. But we had a situation where I'm taking pullback right after stock wicks off the high like this. And I told myself yesterday, look, I need to write this down. Let's memorize. This little nuance is something I need to stay away from and avoid. And so it happened again today. And so I took my 2 wins on this. And I avoided the third pullback because of this wick off the high. I did the right thing. And in hindsight, I'm glad that I did what I did and didn't play it. Obviously made a nice move. But it's just one of those things where this sort of ruined the setup here for me. And so I just couldn't trade it. If it would have wicked beneath price, then sure, I'm going to take a shot on this if I can, but it didn't do that. And so all through here, very choppy. I'll even show you on the 15-second time frame. Look at this, how it was trading. It was extremely choppy. Look at 15-second here. This thing was pop and drop. Look at this. Look at this, pop and drop. So I didn't touch it. So again, just one of those things where I didn't love the setup, and I'm not going to go force a trade on something that I don't love. You know, with the lack of A+ opportunity out of the bell, because again, you look over at GWAV, this thing was very tricky as well. This was my top watch into market open too. I was watching it over 1730, which in hindsight, it made the move, right? But this thing was halting left and right out of market open. And so I was watching it off 1730, which you can see that exact level was marked right here. And it made a nice move, actually. It got pivoting up through the highs here. You can see what I was watching up into market open, where this thing is breaking out. It pulls back to retest off of VWAP, and then this thing just rockets through the highs. But I wasn't really interested in playing a halt with my first trade of the day. So it's just tricky. And so missed this. I take a nice trade on the dip and rip. You can see I played it out of the halt from 22 to about 23s with small size. And that was pretty much all she wrote. And of course, it didn't follow through from there, but we knew that it wasn't going to follow through based on the time and sales. So again, left it alone, had my small profit here. Now, as this went on, this thing started to coil up into the later part of the morning, and we saw it try to break out here, but I watched the tape and I saw that nobody was really stepping up to the table there. And so just left it alone. I didn't play it. We had nobody stepping up on the bid. We had no sort of sign of demand. Nobody really seemingly wanted to see this go higher. It was just sort of, it just didn't really look too great. And so just left it alone. Very small green on this. And it's like, that's what I mean. A lot of the stuff today in the last trade here on AQMS was a loss. My 1 loss of the morning. It's just one of those things where, and I'll show you what I was looking for here. This was a really good setup. It just didn't work out. It worked out later in the morning, of course. It's usually how it goes. But all in all, I like the setup here. And so this thing pulls back. Again, we have this double top high here, and I'm looking for a triple top squeeze. This thing pulls back, and look at this. We have this wick off this high. And so I'm looking for this area of supply, which is now demand, right, to confirm. And so I see this get wicked off this area. Look at that. See how this wick forms out of this area? And I'm thinking this is now an area of demand. So I take the next pullback, looking for that next curl, right, back up to get squeezing up to the highs here. And so I love the setup. It just didn't work out. But all that said, today was one of those really weird days where, look what happened here after I was done trading for the morning. You look at it and you say, oh man, but it's just one of those things, man. Today was a really odd day, and I'm sure you guys felt it out there too, where you've got a lot moving, but it's almost too much moving. It's a good sign because the market is getting hot. There's a lot more volume out there today as we get into the later fall months, into the winter months. Volume is going to start pouring back in, and we're seeing some really good volatility out there. We have a theme in the market with the metals, the minerals. But the big issue right now is dispersed volume. We need to have funneled volume into the obvious setup, and without that obvious stock, you're not going to get those big picture moves like we had yesterday on ELBM, which we caught from 360 to 520. So today we didn't really have one of those blockbuster, big picture, obvious opportunities, but nonetheless, it was a nice green trading day today. All day just wasn't a big one. So looking forward to tomorrow. All that being said, today was pretty good. I'm looking forward to hopefully some new swing trades as well, so make sure to stay tuned for that over in the free trial. And that being said, if you did learn something from this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button for daily content just like this. And to watch me trade stocks just like this, consistent in every market, make sure to claim your 7-day free trial. You'll get access to my watch list, education, chat room access, alerts, live trading, I mean, everything. So make sure to hop on in there. 7-day free trial. The link will be down in the description below. So check that out, and I will see you guys there tomorrow for hopefully an awesome Wednesday ahead.